Good morning. Good night. Der Asthmahund. Der Asthmahund, I'd translate as the asthma dog. No? Perra d'asthma. No? I think there must be a nuance. No. If the last one, let me recall, it was January, February, March, April. I guess must have been April. Yeah, I mean, I assume it's April, no? Anyhow, point is something else. If people say you have seen so much, gone through so much, wasted so much, ran so long, so fast, so unrelentingly, read so much, seen so much, talked with so many, in all these various idioms. In the morning, from the morning on, through pages, bird songs, nights, and accusations. Needless to say, I had a really quiet, really right now, 2021. Still, I mean, at least I get that one right. And definitely a new month. Now, anyway, they say when you kind of are ready, well, let's do it. They say when you kind of wake up, let's do it. When, like, call me. Right here we have already like 3-4 professions, or we have maybe 5 worthless, I'd say, not completely worthless, but near worthless graduation papers, sort of, no? Meister class, again, the same, I don't know why I always like the word plethora. I mean, I'm so sorry. I can't come up with a new term. Shitful, many, endlessly too many, needlessly too few, worthless, and yet people want it. I mean, why not? Places and crap And I'd say accumulations and then trap. Give me, have me, I want. Things break down, I hear it already in the basement, of course not. Because I think there's a new day, no? I mean, that's the machine room. Sorry. We have no slaves in the basement. Are you sure? Am I sure? Not that fast. I'd pause a bit. Okay. I mean, after all, I have to acknowledge always certain facts. Mainly, what standard time am I in right now? You know, I mean, let's talk about time again. Kansas time, modern standard time, Easter time. And then I think we have Derrida time, Jacques Derrida, voilà, en français, il ne que parlait que du temps. Voilà, alors les Français, il adore parler du temps perdu. Et moi aussi, je parle du raté. Tempi dimenticati, tempi spagati, perché no, questo è un termine che non esiste neanche, spagati, non fa senso, no, ma non me ne frega un cazzo, no? Je dirais, je m'en fous, perché I could say why. But there is one thing I would like to, right away I have to warn you, I'd not let you hang too much outside your English standard language. You know what I mean? I mean, after all, my accent, I'd say, is quite Germanic, after all. Deutsch, Teutonic, Teutonicissimo, maybe even fascistosissimo, troubadourolissimo. let me entertain myself. Oh, coincidentally, like on a highway. After all, have I not seen enough of those highways? Because Deutschland liebt es, mittlerweile zu fliegen. Sie haben wieder mittlerweile Geld. Nicht nur der Zug ist bezahlbar, unbezahlbar sind die Geschichten. Basically what they're saying in German, they, the plural, I mean, I'd say the royal, please, oui, je me double, je m'en doute, the Asthma-Hund. The Asthma-Hund in my own private Idaho, my own private narrative space, no? He create a narrative space, no? I'd say. Linguistically framing me, fine. Syntactically surrounding me even better. Tell it all by yourself. A formula of say it allism, say it allism, tell it allism, holistically shit. A shit show, no? Of a life, no? Perdonami. Me ripeto. I repeat. I mean, I never make it really out of the fucking storytelling cabin. Because too much shit awaiting me still. Awaiting me. Meaning ahead of me. Meaning There's a tradition of spoken words, of don't say too fast or very fast, or don't say it at all, or least it all, or art historically all, kind of seen it all, kind of understand it all. In fact, I am not pretending it. I am rather supposing it. In fact, I'm rather propositioning it. No? Because after all, I want to be careful. What I learned in art history, in fact, I would say with a couple of diplomas nonetheless. I mean, no, not diplomas. Let's be more precise. Zettel. Stuff, like courses and classes and whatever. But at least university degree. At least somehow legitimate, no? Somehow means with a bit of Latin. Das kleine Latinum piece of shit, forgot it. I mean, sorry for that, because it took me quite a little traumatic summer, whatever that was, a long extended summer, an even longer extended spring, and then all the Italian language on top of it. And then it took me through a couple of ladies who helped me. We paid them over a period of time. We had to do so. and even my father had to fulfill. He fulfilled his obligation and forked. I think he forked out. He definitely did. One more time. What in a way is a currency? What is what is actually asked? What was asked? What in the end was needed? In the end, what was needed is what was needed also. Then here, there, everywhere, now, right now, or not, or overseas, the gross people are dealing currently with. I mean, I'd say Barbara Weiss, for example, one of those ex-students, because Barbara is really dead. And König is even König Daddy actually is not anymore. I mean, I must say, is not on the file. I mean, I can't completely. I can't completely exclude it that if I go really, really hard into my files, or just made a few phone calls, that I would be landing at Herr König Daddy, because you know what I mean, he still has König Son 1, König Son 2, Leo, and then Johann, König Son 1, 2, and then I can also go König Leo, and then from Leo I go König Lady, and I have to say I really like her, Maggie. And then eventually I would be there, no? And then we had conversations, very, 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 very helpful ones that re-established painful relationships, and from what I understand, to the better, to the worse, to the better, the better. Now my situation, it always feels it's going to better, worse, one notch up better, really bad. What is he whining about? Really bad. And what the fuck is wrong with him? Incredibly downhill. What the fuck is he talking about? Tot. So I ran into Mercedes. Met her as, let's call her, incredibly mature lady. Yeah. I'd say of a certain maturity. And her English is just like top. I'd say top. I'd say, I mean, top. Top. Not like Deutsch English. Not the accented English. By the way, I remember now this lesbian doctor, a PhD lady working for one of the top banks here I met last summer. We had an amazing understanding. Swiss German made it even better, so we could immediately go in and out through, I'd say right away, 4 languages. The standard ones. Those who basically most landed Americans with a little bit of touch in the back of their ass, or say asses that land Germans here. I'd say like really kind of challenging narratives of migration paths. Nothing big, just strange people on the generational path chain. Like petulant. You could corroborate. Shit, no? And Anton for sure too. And then Andrew, I think I bothered his assistant recently as well. Rainer, I haven't seen you so long, he said, Andrew Krebs. Rainer, I haven't seen you so long. Wow. When you are called gross by other ones who just don't want to talk to you anymore, you didn't even believe you're gross, no? Then you're just grossissimo, no? Even thought, I still don't know exactly what I did wrong when I was in that camp. What did I really do wrong that made me so gross to be endlessly called gross, to the point where I started to believe in myself? Where I was, even as recently as 2 years ago, let's call it, unfortunately 2 years ago, and that is like particular, it escalated when I was even in Iran, in Tehran. And even there I realized, oh fucking holy shit. Damned Iran revolution, Iran. Tehran. Voila, not a good thing. Revolutions are really bloody. Revolutions are really, really bloody enterprises. Really damned fucking brainwash pushing, terrorizing events that can, that could, that should, that will, that must, that might be reversed in the sense that the leaders of a revolution in their, I'd say, tens now, but 78, that was in 1978 was the Iranian Revolution, and that was a kind of a oil revolution after all. That was a German is kind of a post. Germany is kind of a post traumatic anchor point for the United States, I would say, in the aftermath of the World War II. After all, I'm sorry, Eurocentric, 1939, 1945. You not call that revolution, you call that just a war, no? But if somebody wants to call it revolution, why not? Then let's look what is a revolution. Because if you call it a Hitler revolution that ended, started, that failed, that was attempted, that was tried, that was going back, at least for sure, I mean, absolutely for sure, into the World War One. Well, I'd call it another war. And then I would say that the United States was, of course not were, but somehow were, and some are still in that war. I mean, aren't we all, trying to not be in a war? I'd say we all try not to be in a war, no? I mean, if you think about it, people walking downstairs, that's a certain rhythm, at least I hear it. Well, it has a certain relaxing quality to hear it run out, tap 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 tap. Those are always interesting moments in my life. When relaxing people stepping relaxed in and out of the house. And then you never really know what was coming to the house. It's none of my business, of course, no. I don't care. it's fine. Somebody came, relaxed down, goes relaxed up, comes relaxed down. Birds keep chirping. Bim bim. Anyway, it's another day, I would say. No, it's another day. Anyway, I don't hear voices. I hear voices when I hear voices. No, it's pretty much clear what a voice is. No, I hear a bird. I mean, it's pretty much clear. This anybody anywhere in the world at a certain time hears a morning coming up. No. Da 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 da. The bird. Da 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 da. The bird hears. In fact, they're called somehow like men or osnolosic. I mean, like, well, don't blame me. I'm right now not having it at hand, Because you see, after all, I don't have to have the name of every bird, and there are bird shows, and I can Wikipedia it immediately up what the signs of birding, the voices of birds are called. Then let's stay a little bit with Augustinus. That's like a really huge stretch down into the history of, let's call it humanity, into the history of letters, into, you know what I mean? Just history, like European history, and all what the damned. Because you can find that one definitely in what they call European history, writing there, but then there's an ecclesiastic history. Ecclesiastic. Another eucalyptic one. A eucalyptic one, no, there is an ecclesiastic one. That is like the church history, okay? So let's just name it by the name, no? The church. And that brings you back in Catholic land. That means that brings you back definitely into European central history, which is, just European-esque, would I say, no? Nothing Americanesque, no. Anyway, we're suddenly there, whatever that is, in the past, namely Augustinus. Actually, some people counted time by Augustinus, no? And then some consider him a philosopher, some just a paper writer, some just like a scribbler. And then maybe Latin was a form of a vulgar language at the time. No. The Latin of today is called vulgata. It's called like whatever nonsense. That was kind of human spoken, interlinked with Italian. Mi piacerebbe cambiare la lingua perché forse c'è troppo traffico qui, no? Troppo traffico means sono in una strada trafficante di droga, no? Allora, meglio in italiano, no? Perciò sono sempre un po' eccitato quando sento i rumori, no? Let's say en français d'abord. Je suis toujours un petit peu inquiète. A little bit, not 100% sure. I tried to say, in fact, some French might understand that when you live in central Harlem, dominio de los Estados Unidos, like in normal time or not, I'd say Eastern Standard Time. Oh, what the damn heck are you talking about? What the fuck is all this coding about? Meaning like, why do you need time zones? Well, I'd say the majority of people doesn't need a time zone. The majority does not. Not many people do not. Because in the end, I might or not have, might or might not be, absolutely not in control of the English language. Because they terrorize me too much, no? As a student of, no, Austria is not English, please. They say in certain, well, there are people I meet here. Here, in the eastern sphere of the United States, the East Coast, the arrogant, damn fucking arrogant, from Harvard to Yale to Princeton to down to all this like amazing school belt. Even NYU is NYU now. Well, the phone I is currently is now damned. Yes. Day comes up. Is it now damned arrogant, nosy, or is it just educated? Or is it maybe better ruled? Is it maybe better understood? Or is it attracting more people? Versus, let's say, the southern belt of misery. Why don't we call it misery? They like to talk about misery. And then within those belts, there are car belts, they're around Michigan is another form of concentration of wealth and misery, and then obviously divisions. In Chicago, you have a point called division, and it's actually a kind of very clear cut that gets you into trouble if you start now messing with those divisions. Be they class, be they money, be they race. Let's move birds back into the foreground, no? The acoustic bellwether. Well, basically I could say I nearly can capture light outside, no? Because I only slept, I'd say 6 hours. No, in spite of my age. Relaxed. I love the birds. A little siren in the background. We still need the machine. Maybe I should today give it another look, whether the tank is full, properly resolve those conflicting damned fuel problems just because of too much diligence, not even too little. And then they say go to hell because they make mistake, but mistakes, understood mistakes. Yeah, but anyway, call us in the next season. To this, to that, go to hell, fuck you. They said to me, in fact, it's very funny when you lie in a bed and you listen to a street that when the echo runs from the car can only run, that is for sure, from left to right, no? If I would turn around. But if then a morning truck, I think that was definitely a truck, not a fast one, goes from left to right. The sound comes in from the front of the house. I'd say the southern side. No, I mean, for sure, I know it. Because in the end, we have even the sun that can tell you where the sun comes in. No, I mean, the sun is absolutely international. No, I'd say international. That's why we had Louis XIV, le roi soleil, no? Le roi du soleil. Soleil, that is an interesting word. Soleil. Sol. Now you just take Sonne, meine liebe Sonne, my son, my dear son, S-O-N, or my dear S-U-N, long time, couldn't understand. Brings me to Sonia's, brings me to, anyway, not even that fast down. One was, for example, Rainer, you're too poor. Rainer, you're too poor. Can't have sex with you anymore. I can't be intimate with you anymore. Go to hell. Yeah, I think that was the last one. The last time I had this type of pleasures. And they were very, 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 very this time of physical excitements, between your legs. Physical enjoyment in a way, a form where the erotic energy of a human being is kind of released, is wonderfully, playing tricks on you. Bodily tricks. I'd say really amazing tricks. Insanity tricks, no? In fact, it's pretty relaxing, no? I'd say that vaginal or not. In fact, I'd say vaginal. And then, unfortunately, brings us again into the details of human eroticability, erotic spheres, erotismistically, bodily vibrating dramatically, the moving and shaking and rubbing and pulling and, well, I mean, for that we have urologists, we have medicologists, which is called doctors, if you feel more, if it's more adapted. In fact, if the sexologist meets a neurologist and they talk about the biological, linguistic, concatenation of terminologically well anchored, I'd say, agreements that are negotiated over time, in fact, that have a tradition within the Latin canon of medical science. Because, after all, the Chinese language has another Chinese medicine one, and then we have the American Medicine Association, and then we having a bunch of international organizations that make sure that termini in terms of medicine are established. Established means they were across the alliances of what we could call the civilized world. or what we could call a framework of agreements on a larger scale, that in spite of linguistic differences down to Spanish and up to, you know what I mean, whatever the next language is that dominates the world, definitely Korea, Japan, China, and then English, not a bad one. And in Germany and in Liechtenstein and in Malaysia and in Kuala Lumpur and in Saudi Arabia and in many places, medical colleges, they they have codes, they have agreements, they have obligations to teach medicine and the history of medicine, and then also pharmacology, like everything related to drug making, drugs, no? To cure. I mean, that's a chemist who does that, not a chemicologist, a chemist. And chemistry is the science, at least in English. Chemie, because already between Germany south and Germany north, and then Austria is obviously the south, so they do right like Munich does. And then in Switzerland it gets already slightly sketchy, because there you have right away four languages, no? You have, anyway, they agree to be on track, they agree with talking medicine. They agree that you can't mess with drugs. You shouldn't mess with drugs. You shouldn't make your own drugs. You shouldn't have your own lab. You should adhere to politicians that, create new frameworks of orientation that make laws in an organized way, not in a random way, meaning, that you are just part of common logic, of common medical logic, of common, by the entire world accepted standards, I would say, trade code standard, a standard agreements, which are met, where there are safeguards, where there are a form of policemen, police dogs, where you have basically an understanding, a common by every nation signed off, even when they don't sign it off, understanding that it's a body of knowledge, I would say, a knowledge formated body of sciences, that guarantees, I'd say, that knowledge is not just like something you can just change on your own, and if you do it, it has, I'd say, serious consequences. So 50 minutes nearly into this kind of autobiographical, I don't want to show off, but I have a reason why I do this. Why? Because just don't make me look insane, but officially I am called insane. Now I hear the words again. I give myself 10 minutes. The bird. The asthma was maybe the subject of this segment, of a spoken word, a spoken attempt to tell an autobiography, to make an autobiography of myself, of Rainer Ganahl. He does know how to type. After all, I was like in a stenography class, which is shorthand. I was even in a shorter than shorthand class, writing class. I'd say I was in a Schönschreibe class, like this beautiful writing class. I was in many handwriting related, nicely German, nicely, I'd say good, not only pen nation Goethe, but I'd call it federführende Nation, like federführend, pen leading, and that brings me back to China, where they say that pens, where they had this amazing song in Chinese about the pen, which I wanted to sing. In fact, I taught the song at one point in Chinese to my son. And that was, for me, a form of an art. So to sing a revolutionary song that really has enough, really, of course, understandably has disappeared from the canon of Sing Mao, let's sing those medicine songs for the revolution. I mean, those killer songs, that a pen can kill the revolution. The Mao revolution, one more time, 66, 67, like mid 60s, towards the end, really a cultural revolution, brutal killing spree of intellectuals. Damn fucking shit. I was, at least when I was in China recently, not so long over there, when I meet people, because China here too, I love to talk to them about that. Keeps running. 52. I was always interested in the history of brutal affairs, just because I realized that Germany was not the only brutalizing state, and that the Vietnam state is brutalizing. Was a brutal war. Vietnam War was very fucking brutal. Everybody can tell you this. Not just not just the people in Harlem who are traumatized from those affairs. In fact, it's an American experience. It's a world experience. It's definitely a damned fucking war. It was a fucking war. The Germans could stay out, no? They could even condemn it, and then did they really only condemn it? No, I mean, there were protests, of course, in particular, you had wild kids. And I would say the German terrorists, Bader Meinhof band, is still like meaningful in a German context, but outside the German context, people have no clue what the Bader Meinhof Bande, that's a terrorist organization, was all about. But then ISIS is maybe another one currently operating out of another kind of fucking space, where you have just war upon war upon war upon war. And again, we're in the Middle East. Again, we are in, then there are oil resource problems. That means you need to move away. But then where our sun energy, where's the sun belt? Now suddenly the sun belt, suddenly, definitely after all, again, really valuable. But don't have it too hot, meaning don't go just right away to Egypt, and don't go even more into the sun belt, into the central parts of Africa. You might still find early forms of living humans. And believe me one thing, they might or might not adhere to to international norms of medicine. Then you have Polynesia and other amazing places in the world where there are supposed to be still people living their own ages out, apart from all, so to say, civilizational forces. And then there are enough anthropologists human anthropology, anthropology is the anthrosphere, meaning humans related sphere, the anthrosphere, or the anthroposphere, whatever the damned agreement is to call these terms up, in whatever abbreviated and rearranged form, the anthrosphere. Well, maybe put the anthroposphere, but it's kind of more like the apostrophe. The apostrophe is definitely a Greek term that has a form of, I'd say, an apostrophe is like a little inverted comma, on top of a letter on the right. Usually that's standard, but I'm sure some people do it differently, or even. Man, I'm already ending class. In fact, I love to talk. It's really self-intoxicating. So yeah, it's self-soothing to. I am a teacher. In fact, I am. Now I start getting worried a little bit, because if somebody sees that, they might say, he's insane. But I check my phone 56 minutes, and then 52, 53. I have 4 minutes left. We could make an hour. I try to have an hour. And I will definitely want to call it art. Yeah, what is that one? Art. And not locoism, not like, it's a colloquial way of saying fine art. Art is fine art, meaning in itself a European invention, American, European, and I have to say is, the Chinese have their own art. Of course they have their own art. But why do they want to suddenly have European art else? Why do they want to suddenly pay so much money for it? That's like Manhattan capitalism. Why do they want to now, why are Chinese artists that have in the West little name recognition worth so much? Because it reflects the economy, doesn't it? It's a nice form of divertissement, of entertainment, of arts, the arts, And that brings me to the last book of references, the last book by, I think it was Deleuze, nonetheless, Gilles Deleuze, who tried to rewrite, the categorization of the world, the academic world, with a bunch of new arrangement proposals, like how to rearrange. I make a proposal how to rearrange knowledge bodies, so they make adapted new sense, adapted for new age. I'd say that makes a lot of sense. So my colloquialism in terms of my nasally, slightly misconstrued or whatever. In fact, I want people to see that I am not fully aware. I'm fully aware that it could sound stupid, but am I a teacher now or am I not? In fact, yes, there is even COVID now. So at least my students can listen to that. In fact, they should, but then they are themselves so busy. And I don't want to overrun it, because after all, an hour is like a lot for an iPhone. Even an iPhone has minutes on it. They have endless capacity supposedly, but you need to load it up and figure out way. Otherwise, you're not going to do that for too many months. Then all your systems are also jammed. So a film by Ganahl, I call it The COVID Man. Right now, just for the categorization of it, I love everybody. Don't kill me, sorry for that. Thank you.